Okay, so think about this. What if the limits we think we have, what if they aren't real? What if things like telepathy, levitation, abilities we basically call science fiction now, what if humans could actually do them once?
Hmm.
It's a fascinating, kind of mind-bending possibility, and it's right at the heart of Whitley Strieber's new book, The Fourth Mind. It just came out this past January.
Right, The Fourth Mind. It's about 300 pages, available in all the usual formats, hardback, paperback, Kindle, and even an audiobook read by Strieber himself.
And our goal with this deep dive is, well, to really dig into Strieber's main argument here. It's all about these beings he calls the visitors.
Yeah, and the really big idea he puts forward is that we, humanity, once had abilities very much like theirs, which is quite a claim.
Definitely. The publisher even says it's the first book ever to go into detail on their anatomy, their neurology, their brains, so to speak, genetics, beliefs, the whole package.
It's ambitious, for sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to explore what the source material actually offers to back that up.
And Whitley Strieber, he's probably a familiar name to many people listening. He's been central to this conversation since his own famous close encounter back in 1985.
That's right. That experience led to Communion, Transformation, Breakthrough, really influential books where he started grappling with all this.
And we shouldn't forget, he was already an established novelist. You know, The Wolf and the Hunger, even the film The Day After Tomorrow was based on his work. So he brings a unique mix to the table.
That's a good point. He has both this intense personal experience and the skills of a storyteller. It definitely shapes how he approaches this complex subject.
So this core concept, the fourth mind, what exactly is it?
Well, it's Strieber's name for the really extraordinary abilities he attributes to these visitors. We're talking things like telepathy.
Direct mind-to-mind stuff.
Yeah, and levitation, seemingly effortless defiance of gravity. Also, manipulating physical reality, like moving huge objects without any visible technology. Things our science just can't easily explain right now.
Okay, so fourth mind is more than just a title. It's a specific set of, well, powers. But it sounds like he's not just describing alien tech here. There's a bigger picture for us, for humanity.
Oh, absolutely. It's a multi-part thesis, really. First, he argues that we had these kinds of fourth mind abilities way back in our past.
Humans did.
That's his claim. Second, that we lost them because of, well, certain historical events. And third, and this is maybe the most crucial part, by understanding the visitors and their fourth mind, we might actually find the key to regaining our own lost potential.
Wow. So the end game is what?
The end game, as he presents it, is basically the re-empowerment of mankind as a truly cosmic species. It's a huge vision, a transformation.
And he's got some interesting endorsements backing these pretty big claims, right? I saw Uri Geller's name mentioned.
Yes, Uri Geller, known for his own, shall we say, unique abilities, calls the book revolutionary, specifically praising the analysis of the visitor's physical nature. Coming from him, that's definitely notable.
And Jacques Vallée, too. He's a giant in UAP research.
Right. Valley commends Strieber for, and I quote, forcing the issue before the public, especially regarding, government inaction on UAP disclosure. So it connects Strieber's ideas to that whole ongoing debate.
Then there's Jim Semivan, a retired CIA officer who's also spoken about his own experiences. He apparently calls it the best book to date on figuring out who the visitors are and how we should prepare.
Exactly. Having someone with that kind of intelligence background weigh in, it adds a different kind of seriousness, suggests these ideas might resonate even in those circles.
It feels like a strategic mix of endorsers, psi phenomena, serious UAP research, intelligence.
It does seem designed to lend weight across different areas.
Yeah.
So with this big picture and these endorsements set up, where does he actually start building his case?
He dives into the visitors themselves, their physical makeup, how they might think, and this is where it gets really interesting, maybe a bit unconventional.
How so?
Well, according to our sources, a good chunk of the book, particularly early on, apparently draws heavily from anonymous posts on Reddit.
Reddit? Seriously?
Yeah, posts included in an appendix. Strieber reportedly analyzes and interprets this material alongside his own experiences.
Okay, that's certainly a unique approach to evidence in this field. So he's blending his personal encounters with anonymous online accounts.
Seems like it. He's using it all to try and piece together a picture of their physical reality. It definitely raises questions about sourcing, but it's part of his method here.
And how does he describe their physical nature then?
He uses this really vivid analogy. He says the visitors normally exist in some other state of being and use bodies to enter our reality as we use scuba gear to penetrate the depths of the sea.
Scuba gear? Huh. That's evocative. So the bodies aren't necessarily them, but more like vehicles, interface,
Exactly. Temporary vessels needed to interact with our dimension, our physics.
which, if true, could potentially explain some of the weird abilities, right? If they aren't fully bound by our physical laws because their fundamental state is elsewhere.
That seems to be the implication. Like, the scuba gear lets them do things here they couldn't normally do, and maybe vice versa. It connects directly to the potential of this fourth mind.
And does this extend to how they perceive reality, their minds?
It seems so. Strieber explores the idea that they might experience time non-linearly.
Non-linearly, meaning not past, present, future like us. Yeah, potentially perceiving it all more holistically. Maybe without the uncertainty or surprises that come with our linear flow.
Yeah.
Imagine experiencing your whole life, maybe all at once, not step by step.
Wow. That makes communication seem incredibly difficult. He talked about that before, right? In them differently structured brains.
Exactly. If their basic experience of reality, of time itself, is that different, bridging that gap is a massive challenge. The physiology, maybe informed by that Reddit stuff, underpins their whole consciousness, according to this view.
Okay, so let's break down these fourth mind capabilities then. What are the specifics?
All right, so top of the list is often telepathy, that direct mind-to-mind communication. Then levitation, defying gravity, not just for themselves, but maybe for objects, even people in abduction reports, without any obvious tech involved.
Right, and it goes beyond just floating things, doesn't it?
Yes, he talks about physical manipulation that seems to bend or ignore physics as we know it, moving huge objects without machines.
Like those megalithic stones we hear about.
Potentially, yes. And even hints of moving through solid objects, phasing, things that just shouldn't be possible according to our current understanding.
And the sources say there are many others, too. It's not just these few.
Apparently. It suggests a whole spectrum of advanced capabilities tied to this fourth mind.
Does he offer any, well, scientific explanations? Or is it more speculative?
It's definitely more speculative, which is understandable given the topic.
Mm-hmm.
But he offers ideas for mechanisms. We already mentioned them potentially operating from another state of
The
being.
scuba gear analogy?
Right. That could bypass some of our physical limits.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's their unique physiology and neurology. Maybe their biology is just wired differently to allow this.
And the nonlinear time thing, how does that fit?
Well, if you experience time differently, maybe you can influence events in ways that look instantaneous or impossible to us.
Yeah.
Like seeing the outcome before the action, perhaps?
Mm.
And finally, the really big one. Maybe they can directly manipulate reality itself, tweak fundamental laws, control energy and matter in ways we can't even conceive of yet.
It's a lot. So just to quickly recap based on the sources, telepathy linked to their different minds' consciousness, levitation manipulating physics gravity via the fourth mind. Physical manipulation may be tied to operating from another state or directly influencing reality.
And underpinning all that is their unique biology and that non-linear time perception. It's a complex picture.
It absolutely is. But it sets the stage for what might be the most provocative part of his argument.
Which is?
That we used to have abilities like this too.
Ah, yes, the lost potential aspect.
Yeah.
This is where Strieber claims these seemingly alien powers weren't always alien to us. He argues humanity had similar fourth mind capabilities way back.
And he says there's evidence, a rich store of it.
He does. He points towards archaeology, specifically megalithic structures around the world. The Gatija temples in Malta are a key example he apparently uses.
Gatija, right? Those huge temple complexes, massive stones, incredibly old.
Exactly. Stones weighing many, many tons, lifted high, placed precisely. Strieber basically argues that our standard explanations, ropes, ramps, manpower, just don't fully cut it for some of these achievements.
It is hard to imagine moving some of those blocks with just rudimentary tools.
So he proposes that abilities like levitation, which he thinks ancient humans had, offer a more plausible answer. These ancient monuments become, in his view, physical proof of our lost fourth mind powers.
It definitely makes you look at those ancient sites differently, question our assumptions about the past.
And it's not just stones and ruins, is it? He believes the knowledge survived, hidden.
That's right. He suggests fragments of this knowledge were preserved in esoteric traditions, maybe mystery schools, folklore, things pushed to the fringes.
Which connects directly to his own background, doesn't it? His involvement with the Gurdjieff Foundation.
Yes, apparently since 1970. The Gurdjieff work, for those unfamiliar, is all about accessing higher states of consciousness, unlocking potential beyond our everyday awareness through intense self-work.
And Strieber sees parallels. between Gurdjieff's methods and the visitors.
He does. He's apparently noted similarities between the teaching methods in the Gurdjieff work and how the visitors have interacted with him since '85. It seems to reinforce his idea that this is all about accessing a deeper state of consciousness, whether through ancient wisdom or visitor contact.
Interesting. So that it links esoteric practice to the fourth mind. Okay, so if we had these abilities, how did we lose them? What's the theory there?
He calls it the Great Forgetting. The core idea is a massive cataclysm at the end of the last ice age, a time of huge environmental change, mass extinction.
Okay, a major global event.
Right. But he argues the loss of abilities wasn't physical or genetic, it was psychological. He uses the term traumatic amnesia, but on a species level.
Traumatic amnesia. Like the trauma was so bad, we collectively repressed these abilities.
Exactly. The idea is the cataclysm was so devastating, so terrifying, that it caused society, maybe our collective unconscious, to bury the memory and the practice of these powers deep down. We forgot how to access them, even if the potential is still there somewhere.
Wow. A species losing its innate potential due to trauma. That's a powerful idea. It links the visitor's abilities to our past and then raises the obvious question.
Can we get them back?
Yeah, is it possible to reclaim them?
And Strieber seems to think yes. He points to a specific, supposedly forgotten incident involving visitors in Brazil back in 1996. He claims this event holds a key to our re-empowerment.
Brazil 96. Interesting that the sources don't detail what happened, but emphasize its importance in his framework. Like understanding that specific event could unlock something crucial.
Exactly. And his vision for what that unlocks is, again, huge, becoming a truly cosmic species. He even gave a presentation titled How We Can Change That, suggesting he thinks there's an active path forward.
But it's not necessarily easy. Right?
Yeah.
The sources mention challenges.
Definitely. He talks about the psychological hurdles, how our brains just struggle with the unknown with these kinds of encounters, and the risks and rewards of things like telepathy or direct contact. It's not presented as flicking a switch.
Makes sense. It would be a profound shift. And what about the visitor's perspective in all this? Does he suggest they want us to regain these abilities?
He attributes concerns to them, yeah. Big ones, like nuclear war, environmental collapse, as if they have a stake in our survival.
And there's that quote, something about disclosure versus contact.
Right. Disclosure of their presence here is probably up to us, but contact is not. Contact is up to them.
That ties back to the endorsements urging disclosure and preparation. It puts the ball in our court for acknowledgement, but leaves the actual interaction up to them.
It really makes you think about our role, our agency in this whole cosmic picture. And it's impossible to separate Strieber's ideas from his own life, his own experiences, isn't it?
Absolutely not. That 1985 encounter is the foundation. His decades of trying to understand it, engage with it, clearly shape everything he presents in the fourth mind.
And the Gurdjieff influence seems pervasive, too. That framework for understanding consciousness and potential feels like a core lens he uses.
Definitely. And perhaps even his experiences after his wife Anne passed away, which he wrote about in Afterlife Revolution. Exploring non-physical consciousness there likely feeds into his ideas about abilities that transcend the purely material world. It all seems interconnected in his thinking.
You can see an evolution, too. Earlier books explored different angles, parallel universes, time travel maybe. The Fourth Mind feels like a more focused synthesis on this idea of lost human potential linked to consciousness and the visitors.
I agree. So if we boil down the central argument of the fourth mind, it's visitors have these fourth mind powers. Humanity used to have them too. A cataclysm caused a great forgetting. But understanding the visitors, maybe specific events like Brazil 96, could help us regain them.
And the ultimate goal. Become a truly cosmic species.
Right. The book isn't just presenting information. It's trying to spark, as he puts it, a new way of thinking about who and what we truly are.
It's incredibly ambitious, provocative, certainly.
It really is. And it leaves us, the listener, with a pretty deep question, doesn't it? If Strieber's claims about our lost potential have any weight, and if these visitors are concerned about our future, what's the first step? What's the first step for us collectively to even begin re-examining who we think we are, where we came from? Maybe just seriously considering the possibility that our past and our future could be vastly more capable than we currently imagine. Maybe that's where it starts, just opening the door to that thought.